Well, I'm just about to say afternoon, Reverend Ed Trevors. How you doing? John Weaver from Roseman, California. West Coast people of Americans. That side of town, not the East Coast, like where you are, but West Coast. Okay. Responding to what you had on Trump this morning, and it seems like you've been getting a hell of a lot of kickback on this one. Forgive the language if I get salty on this one. I'll try to limit it. Trump is a fool and Trump is an idiot. Now that's basically polite right now as it is. I mean, I can get a lot saltier on that situation over there. Now here in America, yeah, we are split apart. We are very schizophrenic and bipolar when it comes down for dealing with Trump and Trumplicans and everything else regarding that kind of situation. It's yes versus them. It's spy versus spy. It's the light versus dark. Flip a coin on what your particular viewpoint is, whether or not if you're dark or light. If you think you're light but you're dark, well, that's the kind of viewpoint we got right now, isn't it? Trump is not the cause or the source, but he is a spokesperson for it. He's a spokesperson for what the things have been happening with us these days. I mean, it's been with us for a long while, all this nice division and derision going on left and right. For a hell of a long while. But it's gotten more manifest and more acute over the past couple of centuries. More so on it. Does it scare me? Oh, it pisses me off a bit, but I'm going to be afraid if someone else has a difference of opinion, whether or not if I'm going to be a fool and idiot or if I'm libtard. I've been called a lot. In my town, they celebrate the Trump. They're the Trumplicans. Again, we got the us versus them and spy versus spy situation over here. Superman and Batman situation. Only Trump thinks he's Superman and he's really one of the villains out there. But who is the hero? Flip a coin on that one there because everyone else is trying to put on the hero cape and think they're the hero, and yet they're trying to save Gotham. But this is America, not Gotham. And we had spent over 250 some odd years of having our country grow one way or another, or maybe in many ways, that I believe that if we did not have the United Nations, maybe we would have been one of those kind of conquering nations. But because we have a dominance in our viewpoints and in our way of thinking these days, that the world should be thinking our way, we try one way or another to influence. I suppose that's one viewpoint to look at it. Either we are the ones promoting democracy and everyone should be getting into it, or we're going to be an empire, or maybe we are both, depending on how we're looking at this whole situation. And Rev, it's scary in that particular situation because we have our fanatics on both sides. We have the extremes going crazy at this point. So we have. I get news flashes on my other computer over here, and I'm seeing some of the posts from HuffPost regarding how the politicians and how certain individuals won't take rulings quietly, or even the voting response if we actually do get a continuance of the current president here in the United States. We'll say the guy's name, President Joe Biden, President Joseph Biden, Democrat, and it pisses them off because they don't want to hear it. They want to hear Trump. They want to hear Putin. It's like the hush hush regarding the Putin name, but Trump they want. The spokesperson. I had tried to say this many times in different forms to you and to the public in general that we've got a cult mentality happening in our country. Not political, but we are dealing with personality cult. And the populism concept and theory is put into way practice where it's cultish. Trump is the figurehead of this. He's not the cause of it, nor is he a cure. He's just continuing with the same damn crap we've got going on for a hell of a long while. How much stock are you going to be putting into a cult leader that has this effect on people? Now, for me, it's like I listen to his ranting and ravings of a lunatic, and that's all I hear is the ranting and ravings of a lunatic. But other people are so damn desperate to get away from their regular politics that they want this asshole in. And they've forgotten what kind of crap we went through for the 4 years he was in office. Our standing was down among our allies. They couldn't trust us. UN scratched its head on us. Putin laughed his ass off. Xi Jinping laughed his ass off. North Korea laughed its ass off. Every other authoritative regime laughed its ass off because Trump was in power. He wanted what everyone else wanted, trying to show off his wear. It's worse than seeing the emperor's no clothes. Yeah, how are you on readings these days? And of media and culture and stuff like that. Shall I throw some stuff at you? Okay, but let me throw a reality check regarding this worship of Trump and of the mentality of it. Jim Jones. Back in the 70s, you have a religious nut job who formed the People's Church. He couldn't deal, I don't know what his reasons were, that he moved away from America and he formed Jonestown, I think in Africa. Sure as hell wasn't in South America. So in that aspect, he formed his own little clique, his own worship, his own followers, armed camp, armed guards all around. He wanted absolute devotion at this point. He was willing to sacrifice his followers and anybody else who got in his way than his own life for some insane reason, which we'll never know, except he was a cult leader. We'll talk about David Koresh back in the 90s, Waco, Texas. I'm watching this stuff on the news during those days. I had seen how a religious fanatic who claimed he was almost the son of God, and his people worshipped and made him devout and divine, but also armed themselves. A lot of fear, a lot of paranoia, and a hell of a lot of bullets and explosives. And what happened to that place? When the ego gets to be that big, that super big, it's kind of hard not to miss it. And for those who are scared enough and think that, and distrustful enough of anybody and everybody, they think this is the person that's going to solve their problems. I got news for these assholes and asslorettes. They ain't solving my problems. They're not here. They're not here. And they're not taking care of me either. I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of what I can. I'll put my faith and trust in God, but I still got to do the damn legwork down here. So I'm not going to listen to some freaking Gasbag thinks he's got all the damn answers for him. I got one answer for him. And if I happen to do that, it's not going to be very disrespectful. So I don't listen to the Trumplicants, and I don't believe in their bullshit. They want to believe in conspiracies, so they want to believe in pie in the sky crap. I'm looking at the sky right now. There's no pie in the sky. It's blue sky. It's going to be about 62, 63 out here in the Antelope Valley, California. It's a comfortable day. It's short. It's a short sleeve kind of day. It's not ruining my damn day because they're not in power over me. I'll bring you to the media, to the sci-fi media of the 70s. I've said this before, and I'll throw it back at you again. Jack Palance, surely a gentleman of your scholarly wisdom and years of living on this planet, would have given you some kind of knowledge regarding of certain television shows out there that was supposed to be popular until they crashed and burned about a season or two. But Jack Palance was from the 50s, 60s, 70s westerns. The last film you ever seen him was in City Slicker 2 with Billy Crystal. But the thing I'm going to be showing you, or explaining to you, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century with Gil Gerard and Aaron Gray. First season, and it's a two-parter, Planet of the Slave Girls, where you have this fanatical populace who wants all worship and all power for himself. And he's willing to hypnotize people into doing it because he's got this power over people. He uses their fear to kill themselves, overwhelm their senses somehow. He's got these weird-ass metaphysical abilities. His hand glows. And he goes to the person, he touches him, and they die. That's if the fear and paranoia have gotten to the point where they're killing themselves literally. And the other people watching this are screaming a name, Khalil, Khalil, Khalil. And he acts like he's Donald Trump. When writers get it right one way or another, we all miss that damn thing. Fictional writers in the books, literary, and in the media that we have. People don't pay attention to the subtle hints. People want the country of ours to go back in the 1930s where we're totally isolationist. Well, let's see. What happened back in the 1930s and 40s? I'm sorry, do we have a memory loss? Well, let's figure about a little madman, Austrian-born, decides to take a country who is already in ruins and tries to bring him into a military conquering power and decides to go to conquer the world and see some people he don't like or a type of people, and then let's jail him up, ship him out, put him in the camps, forced to work, and just for the fun of it, decrease the population. And other people said it didn't happen. They didn't want to see it happen. They don't want to know what happened. Not in my backyard. No. This is America we got right now doing the same damn shit. We're going to be eliminating education on our youth. We're going to be burning the books. We're going to be doing a Fahrenheit 451 at this point over here. We're going to be doing a 1984 Big Brother crap on people. And people don't want to see this. They don't want to see what's happening. We don't even want to see a Brave New World happen, do we? No, it was bad enough back in the 1800s. They had to be exposed by Samuel Clemens, non de pleur, Mark Twain, along the Mississippi River line, sir. Are you a gentleman or are you a bit of a swine? If you're a bit of a swine, pay attention. If you're a gentleman, maybe you should be paying attention as well. So we dealt with slavery. We dealt with the language of slavery, of how to mistreat people left and right and sound so dignified about it. Clemens was trying to tell us, and a lot of people didn't pay attention to that one too kindly. Oh, they paid attention, all right. They didn't like it one damn bit. These days, do you think people will be reading this kind of book? No. Nope. We don't. Because that kind of book pisses people off. That'll be one of the books that'll be burned. We don't want to deal with slavery. We don't understand slavery. We don't. We didn't have slavery. We had people coming across the waters for equal opportunity. I'm sorry. Do you have your passports with you? Do you have your paperwork with you? I'm sorry. It's the 1800s. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't come into the country here. You're illegal aliens. You're illegal immigrants. You're not allowed at the borders. I think the Native Americans would pay attention to this one. They'll be scratching their heads saying, "We told these people the same damn crap a long time ago when Cortez came over. Do you think they ever listened? Oh, hell no. We got the damn smallpox. We got the muskets. We got shot at by the muskets. We got killed off by the smallpox. And now we got herded." You got to look at history in different ways and different perspectives and contexts, I tell you. Either we're the hero or we're the villain. Or we're the conquering empire. So try this one. The Roman Empire. How well are you on that one? Please tell me you are. How did the Roman Empire, or how did Pax Roma dealt with people who are not of Italy or of Rome itself? What kind of citizenship did they actually have? How far and how wide did the government system, screwed up as it was, either you got a Caesar, you didn't have a Caesar. Either you had a Caesar, you didn't have a Caesar. You had a conqueror, you had a conqueror over here. But you still had the Senate, and you still had another lower chamber that dealt with stuff. Sometimes they were active, and at times they were inactive. But the only thing they paid attention to was an armed lunatic with a hell of a lot of shielding, or partially on him, with a sharp sword and a mean ass attitude. Yeah, makes me wonder how about our country. Are we doing the same damn way? We replaced the weaponry and the shielding, but it's still the same thing. We still use the billy club, either by words or by actions or by deeds. And I'm saying this because it's happening all the damn time. If we want our own Western values, be like everybody else's, or actually everyone else be like our own Western values, we have our own forms of persuasion, one way or another. Even yet, our nation sometimes is that way. But either we're trying to work with the nations at this point of trying to develop Western civilizations, or try to accept someone else's version of what civilization is supposed to be, or else we're going to be a conquering country or try to fight out the conquering countries. I mean, politics and world history is messy enough as it is. Why do we comment on Trump? Why do we talk about the Trump? It's not just the man himself. It's what he projects and what we're fighting against. Our own damn thoughts, our own damn feelings, our own damn inadequacies. And I'll say it before and I'll say it again, I blame the voters. Democracy is messy. Democracy is not supposed to be exact. Democracy is supposed to be allowing the people having a vote to say, and then the majority rules. Unless, of course, we have processes to allow the minority to influence the majority a bit, but not fully control, unless we get consensus. And it's going to be a long, bloody, gray-ass consensus. And when we get consensus, then we can try moving forward. But this is how our democracy works. We have representative democracy out here, Rev. And yes, we do influence everybody, including Canada, and they should be afraid of us. Trudeau should be afraid, not of Biden, but of Trump, and of his people that thinks the same way he does. He ought to be terrified. He ought to have ulcers over this damn shit. But the one thing he cannot have is have that damn fear control him entirely. He ought to recognize it and then say either he's going to be working with the United States or, and leave it at that. If he wants to have good relations, he's either going to do a tap dance the way Trump and his Trumplicans like, or else. Or else he's going to have to be hard on the United States of what he wants and expects from us and from the rest of the world. If they got any Trump followers in Canada at this point, he's going to have to deal with that kind of mentality. Because there's no way we can get this damn thing controlled over here. We're going to have this damn thing for decades to come. More so. Back in the 90s, we already had that stuff going on. Or unless we recognized part of it anyway. The Tea Party movement. Here's the thing, Rev. Here's the thing. We have to understand each other's history. We have to understand where the viewpoints are coming from. We have to understand what we're all bringing to the table. We got to know where they're coming from, where they're maneuvering, everything. And then, once we know, then we can start working on the gray area. What are the commonalities? What are the common things that we share? Don't scoff it off. Don't laugh it off. Don't be serious about it when you look at it. Put it in perspective and context. Understand. The people of the United States, some of them actually do, and the rest of them just follow suit like sheep. But they call everybody else sheep. I wonder how that works. It's a hell of a lot to understand these days in our age group. The older we get, the worse it becomes for us because we understand more so, and we feel sorry for the next generation that's got to deal with their own damn screw-ups, and then we had to deal with our own parents' screw-ups, and then going on back. Sometimes the history seems to be a little sketchy because we think we know better, but then again we discovered we didn't. And if we actually had any corroborating proof, and then we got to scratch our heads one more time. How come we didn't think about this damn crap in the first place? What's wrong with us? We didn't know any better. We didn't think any better. We didn't want to. I don't know what to tell you, priest. Hell of a way of looking at things. Anyway, I'll send this one out. You, Rev, try to have a good one.